thrift shop, I believe, and it was like $2, so truly a steal of a deal. And yeah, this is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I watch it every year on Halloween and around Halloween, so this is a great one to watch. Next up is Evil Dead, and this is the remake directed by Sam Raimi, I believe. And I forgot to mention at the beginning, some of these movies I have are my favorites, and I have them because I want to always have a copy of them in case they aren't on a streaming service anymore. But some of them are also just kind of random and not my favorites. So this is one of those because I've only seen this movie once. I think I do like it, but it's not one of my go-tos. I like the original maybe a little bit more, but I think that this one is more, it's modernized, so it kind of is a little bit better done as far as like gore and effects go. It's very bloody and gory, so it is a good movie. I just haven't rewatched it recently, and I think I've only seen it like one time. Okay. Next up is Here's Johnny. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. My favorite horror movie of all time for sure, and it is The Shining, starring the most unhinged, amazing man, Jack Nicholson. And this is just one of those movies I have to have a copy of because if it ever goes off of a streaming service, I'll be sad. So yeah, there's some pictures. We have Shelley Duvall, rest in peace, and then little Danny and Jack looking crazy. Yeah, this movie is incredible. What more can I even say about it? Not much. Okay, now we have some TV series. So this is Breaking Bad, the complete first season. This is my favorite TV show of all time, I would say, or at least one of them. And yeah, it's an amazing show. This has 2 discs in it, and I also have the complete second season and the complete third season. I don't remember how many seasons there actually are of this show, but I know there's more than 3. There's like 8 or something, but for some reason I only have the first 3 seasons. So yeah, I don't really know. But this show is incredible. Like I said, it's one of my favorites, and if you haven't seen it, you need to watch it immediately. There was the spin-off show. There's the spin-off Better Call Saul. I think it's done now. I don't think that they're filming it anymore, but I really didn't get into that. I only watched a couple episodes, but I think I've heard really good things about it, so I should probably just watch it, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. And then there was a movie that came out called El Camino. I think that's what it was called, and that was really good too. So amazing show. Now we're gonna get into this little booklet here, and right up top we have Spring Breakers. Spring Break. Oh my god, this movie is wild. It is one of A24, the production company. It's one of their first films that they produced, I believe, and it stars James Franco and Vanessa Hudgens, Selena Gomez. It's directed by Harmony Korine. I love that crazy ass man with my whole heart. This movie is awesome. Harmony Korine's wife is also in it. She's one of the girls that goes on spring break. And Ashley Benson from Pretty Little Liars. So yeah, a lot of people didn't like this movie, and I can see why, but I just think it's such an incredible movie to look at more than anything. The visuals and the colors are all incredible. Oh my god, and also Gucci Mane is in this. How could I forget about him? He makes an appearance, an iconic appearance. So yeah, it's very out there. You know, it gets weird, but that's what Harmony Korine does. So what more could you expect? Okay, now we have another one of my favorite movies of all time, Black Swan, starring Natalie Portman, directed by Darren Aronofsky. She won an Oscar for her role in this movie, and she completely deserved it. I thought this movie was incredible. I've seen it multiple times. It's about a ballerina that kind of loses her shit. It's a very psychological movie, and I think it's incredibly well done. It's one of my favorites. Turning the page. Okay, looks like these are some horror movies we got here. So up here, that is the Blair Witch Project. This is from the 90s. It's the original one. There's been a couple other like spin-offs, I guess, of the Blair Witch Project, but this is the original. I truly was terrified while watching this movie for the first time. I know a lot of people don't like it and they don't find it scary, but I personally just found it to be very terrifying. I get freaked out about the concept of being lost in the woods, especially at night, and that is exactly what happens to the people in this movie. So that is creepy to me, and you don't really see anything. So I think people, for that reason, don't find it as scary, but to me, that doesn't matter. It's almost what you don't see because you hear noises and laughing and stuff like that, and it's just very creepy. So, okay, next up is The Conjuring. This is the first Conjuring movie. I like this movie. It's not one of my favorites, but I still like it, and the first time I watched it, it was very scary. There's a particular scene involving a dresser, I guess you would call it. It's like a kind of an old-fashioned looking dresser slash closet. And if you've watched this movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So it's creepy, and I think that it's a movie that pretty much everyone will find at least somewhat scary. There are quite a few jump scares, but that doesn't really bother me. I know a lot of people hate jump scares, but it's not that bad for me. Okay. Now we have the first Saw movie. I used to have all of the Saw, I think I had the first 5 or 6 Saw movies, but for some reason I don't know where they went. They're just gone. So now I just have the first one. And the Saw movies are okay. They're not very good, and it's really just torture porn. But this one's okay. I actually feel like my favorite is the newest one that came out, Saw X or Saw 10. I just felt like it was the most well done, but I don't think I've actually seen all of the Saw movies. I think I've seen most of them, though. It just kind of gets confusing. They get a little jumbled as they go along, but the first 2 are pretty good, and then the last one I liked as well. And I think that the 10th one was supposed to be in the lineup of movies. It's supposed to be in between the first and the second movie, I believe. They are definitely not movies for everyone. jump scare ridden, and so if you don't like jump scares, this one probably is not going to be for you. I think I like The Conjuring more than Insidious, but they're both pretty creepy movies, and actually all three of these movies, The Conjuring, Insidious, and Saw, the first Saw, are all directed by James Wan, so shout out to him. He's a great horror director, I can't deny that. His movies aren't my favorites, but I still think that they're kind of universally creepy to pretty much anyone and everyone, so okay. Okay, at the top we have Shutter Island, and this is another movie that I have only seen maybe once or twice. I also believe I read the book because it's based off of a book, and this has Leonardo DiCaprio in it and Mark Ruffalo. I really don't remember much about it. I just know it's kind of creepy and psychological, and there's a twist in it, if I'm remembering correctly. It's not one of my favorites, but for some reason I have it. I don't know. It's not one that I rewatch, obviously, because I said I've only seen it around 2 times, but it's pretty good. I think it is a good movie. I need to watch it again, probably, but yeah. Okay. Then we have Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, and this is a movie that I absolutely adore. It is directed by Tim Burton, and I would say it's not my favorite Tim Burton movie, but it's up there because this is a musical, and I'm not the biggest fan of musicals, but I love this one. And it actually originally was a play. I believe maybe it was a book before it was a play. Probably, but it's a pretty fucked up story. If you haven't seen it, it's basically about this demon barber who is getting revenge, and he has a partner or friend. I don't really think that they're like in a relationship, but she bakes the people that he kills into meat pies. So that's fun. And it's a Tim Burton movie, so of course Johnny Depp is in it, and Helena Bonham Carter, who was married to Tim Burton at one point. They're not married anymore, but which is actually really sad to me that they're not married anymore. Like, they seemed just to be the absolute perfect couple, but I don't know. And yeah, this is one of my favorite Johnny Depp roles as well. I mean, I guess it's so hard to say because he's one of my favorite actors, but this is probably in like my top 10, maybe top 5, but maybe not. I don't know. It's hard to say, but yeah, this is a great movie. And I've heard some people say that they don't like Johnny Depp's singing voice in this, but I actually thought it was good. I don't know, maybe I'm just biased because I love him, but I thought it was not that bad, so okay. Now we have Winter's Bone, and this movie stars Jennifer Lawrence. I believe this was her first, maybe it wasn't her first acting role, but it was one of her first, if I'm remembering correctly. She was pretty young in this, and she was nominated for an Oscar. And I think this movie is very underrated. It's not a lot happens. Like, it's not super fast-paced, but it's still really good, and it's very bleak. The way it's shot, the color used is very bleak. It's in a wintry setting. This is actually a really good movie to watch in the winter, hence the name Winter's Bone. Like, if you're looking for something to watch this winter, check this one out. I don't remember like a lot about it, to be completely honest, because I haven't watched it that many times, but this is one that, even though I haven't seen it that that many times, I still really like it and I still really appreciate it. And there's also an actor in this, I believe it's John Hawkes is his name, and he's a really great underrated actor in my opinion. So yeah, check this one out if you haven't seen it. Okay, now we have 127 Hours. I used to be weirdly obsessed with this movie when I was younger. I don't know why. When it came out, I think I had a crush on James Franco. That's probably why, but he's in this movie. He's basically the only person in this movie. It's all about him. He was also nominated for an Oscar for this role, and I think he definitely deserved it. He didn't win, but this was directed by Danny Boyle, who has directed a lot of other amazing movies as well. Slumdog Millionaire is one of them. There's like a lot more, but for some reason I'm blanking on the movies that he's made, of course. Trainspotting. What else? There's that one, the zombie movie with Cillian Murphy in it, 28 Years Later, 28 Days Later. I'm so bad with remembering names sometimes, but I can remember the weirdest random shit, and then I can't remember other things. But anyway, yeah, this movie is pretty great. This is based on the true story, actually, and it's about this hiker slash, I guess he's not really even a hiker, he's an outdoorsman. He climbs mountains, he rides bikes, he just does it all, which I'm honestly so envious of people like that, because you will not catch me doing that shit. No thank you. Nope. But he fell in this kind of ravine, or it's like I don't know what you would really call it. It was basically a crack in a rock, and he got stuck there because when he fell down, this smaller rock, trapped his hand against the side of this ravine, and he was stuck there for 127 hours, and then spoiler alert, he had to cut off his own arm to get out, and they show it in the movie, so if you don't like that, don't watch it, because yeah, you see it, but it's actually super incredible, and it probably sounds boring because for a lot of it he's just stuck there, but I thought it was really good actually. And he just kind of starts thinking about his will to live, like, how am I gonna get out of here? And he starts hallucinating basically because he's running out of food and water. He has to drink his own pee. So if you don't like that, don't watch it for that either. But it just really kind of starts to make you think too, what would you do in that situation? And it's like, I guess, I don't know, he just kind of all of a sudden accepted, I'm gonna have to do this, and he just does it, and he gets out, and he lived, and the real guy is still alive to this day, and I'm pretty sure he has a wife and a kid now. Like I said, I was weirdly obsessed with this movie for some reason, so I did a bunch of research on the actual guy. Aaron is his first name. I'm not remembering his last name, but it's pretty incredible. If you haven't seen it, it's a really well done movie, and the cinematography is really beautiful too, because I think it's set in Utah, so it's really beautiful. Okay, now we have The Hangover, and this is just a comfort movie for me. It's definitely not a great movie, but it's fun, and I've seen this movie so many times, but I love it. It's funny, it's just goofy, and if I'm in a bad mood, it's one that I gravitate towards. It just will instantly put you in a good mood. And I think most people probably know this movie. They've probably seen it. It's just about a bunch of guys that go to Vegas and get too fucked up and have to kind of retrace their steps from crazy shit happens. So it's pretty good. Okay, The Devil Wears Prada is another favorite of mine, and this is another comfort movie for me, one that I've seen so many times. It stars Anne Hathaway, Meryl Streep, and Stanley Tucci. I love Stanley Tucci so much, and it's a really great movie. It keeps your attention the whole time, and there's some life lessons in there as well, and it's about fashion, which I love. So there's amazing outfits and all that good stuff. So yeah. There Will Be Blood. Oh man, this one is so good, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen this one too. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like most people have at least heard of it, but this stars Daniel Day-Lewis, and I love that man so much. He won an Oscar for this role, and this movie is incredible. It's one of the greatest movies I've probably ever seen. The one thing I don't like about it, and I might get people not agreeing with me on this, but this movie also has Paul Dano, the actor Paul Dano, in it. I don't really like him. I don't know why. He's one of those actors that I just don't like. I don't buy it. You know what I mean? I feel like he's overacting in this, and I kind of understand because he's obviously young. Like in this movie, he's pretty young still, and he's acting up against Daniel Day-Lewis, who is one of the greatest actors of this generation, and I feel like maybe he was feeling like he needed to do the most or something in this, because compared to Daniel Day-Lewis, he just feels very over the top, but not in a good way. That's just my hot take, okay? Don't come for me, but I just don't like him in other movies either. I don't know what it is. I don't like him. I also don't like Jesse Eisenberg. I never have. I'm so sorry. It's the truth, okay? But yeah, this movie's awesome, and I'm sorry for the Paul Dano hate. I just had to speak my mind real quick. Okay, this is True Grit, and I've only seen this like one time. It's a remake by the Coen brothers, starring Jeff Bridges, and I think Josh Brolin is also in it. It's pretty good, honestly. I should watch it again. It's a Western, which I have not seen that many Westerns, but it's pretty good, and I honestly do not remember like anything about the plot. I just remember it's a decent movie, but I really like Josh Brolin as an actor and Jeff Bridges, so with them in it, it's bound to be good, and the Coen brothers are great. So that's all I have to say about that. Sorry. Okay. Oh boy, here's Twilight. My guilty pleasure. I love Twilight so much, and I don't even care. I think it's so ridiculous in the best way. It's so over the top and dramatic, but it's a comfort movie for me too, especially in the fall. I love the corny romance of it all, and I've always been Team Edward, obviously, that's the only right option, but okay, Midnight in Paris. This is another one that I have not seen that many times, but it's a Woody Allen movie, and it has Owen Wilson in it, and what is her name? Rachel McAdams. I don't remember a ton about it. I just know a guy goes to Paris and starts traveling back in time at night to the 20s or the 30s, and it's kind of just about that, just him going back in time. I don't know. I don't really know what to say about it. It's not one of my favorites, but it's decent, and Woody Allen is not a great guy, and I honestly don't really love a lot of his movies, but this is one of his more recent movies, and as far as those go, this one's one of the better recent films from him. So, okay, over here we have Harry Potter. This is the Sorcerer's Stone, the first one. And I used to be obsessed with Harry Potter when I was younger. I've gone to the Harry Potter world a couple times in Orlando, and these movies are so nostalgic for me, and I watch them around Christmas time a lot because they'll show them on TV, and they're also little and cute in the first one. It's so funny to see just how tiny they are, but yeah, what else can I say about Harry Potter? I think everybody knows Harry Potter at this point. So, and then this is the Chamber of Secrets, the second movie. This one is not one of my favorites, and I think most people kind of agree that this is one of their least favorite movies. It's not bad, but it's not one of my faves, you know. But there's Dobby on the front, and he's one of my favorite characters in the movies. Okay, and then I think I have all of the other ones as well. Yeah, I do. Okay. So, The Prisoner of Azkaban. This is one of my favorites, and I think it's the most well shot. It's just the most fun to me. It has the best plot, and it also kind of is where the movies start to get a little bit darker, which I like, because they're starting to grow up and just face some dark shit. And then The Goblet of Fire has Robert Pattinson in it, so gotta love that. I love him. And this one was not my favorite, though. It's okay. I don't know, it's not that great. And The Order of the Phoenix and The Half-Blood Prince are also ones that I don't love as much, but they're still pretty good. I think I like The Order of the Phoenix more than The Half-Blood Prince, probably, but so that's 5 and 6. And then I have Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2, and these are great. These are probably my two favorites. I think that the last movie, The Deathly Hallows Part 2, is probably my favorite one. They're just very, I mean, the first one is really good too. I don't know, they're both great. I haven't seen these movies in so long, but I watch bits and pieces of them around Christmas, like I said. So, but it's usually the first one that's on TV. So yeah, the Harry Potter movies will always have a special place in my heart, even though I'm not. I mean, I think I'll always be a fan of them, but I'm not like an avid fan like I used to be when I was younger. So, okay. Now we have Goosebumps, Attack of the Jack-o'-lanterns. I honestly don't even remember this one. I don't know why I have it. I think it has a couple different episodes on it, maybe, but I don't remember. I don't even remember one called The Attack of the Jack-o'-lanterns. So, I don't know. I used to have the one, like the living dummy one, and there's one with a haunted house. I don't know, but apparently this is the only one I have right now, so whatever. And then we have Halloween Town and Halloween Town 2. I love these movies so much. They are so nostalgic for me, and I watch them almost every year around Halloween. I feel like I actually didn't watch them this Halloween, which is a crime, to be quite honest. So they just remind me of my childhood, and I'll always love these movies so much. They're just amazing. Alright, these are the last two that I have in here, and they're pretty special, you know. So this is The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I don't know if that's like a season of it. It just says Sweet Victory. I don't know what that means, but I used to love this show when I was younger. So I think it's just hilarious to me. I love it so much, and I think that Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis do an amazing job acting in this. Like, they're just so amazing. They work so well together, and it's so hilarious to me. Okay, so that is all of the movies in this book. I will probably do a second part, like I said, showing you my albums as well.